Hey folks, exists a different way to clone an object in your JavaScript codebase, and today I want to show you 4 different ways to achieve this goal, and also the pros and the cons of every solution. So don't waste time and let's jump in it. Okay, the example is always the same for every solution. I iterate over 10 million elements and I create a collection of people with the same name, surname, birth year, and 2 different addresses. Then I iterate over this collection, and for every item, I create a copy of this item and I push the copy in a new collection called people copy. And then using the performance class, I measure the performance of every strategy to clone your object in JavaScript. Last but not least, I show you also a different approach that every strategy used to achieve the goal of the clone, so you can have all the notion to make the best decision in your code base to clone an object and live safe. Okay, the first strategy to clone an object in JavaScript is using the spread operator. The spread operator is a simple syntax with the 3 dots, and using this syntax you can copy all the property from an object to another. And you will also create a new reference of a new object in this case. Pretty simple. So now it's time to see the result. Okay, so now I open my terminal and running the script. I can see that in 1 second and 950 milliseconds, the code copy 10 million elements from a collection to another. It's a good time, in my opinion. Okay, this solution is pretty simple and also pretty fast, but you have to keep in mind some stuff. So now I wanna compare the instance of the first element in the copy collection with the instance of the first element in the original collection. And then I also wanted to check if the addresses of these 2 objects are equal. So now I'll open my terminal and then using the script I wanna show you the result. So as you can notice, people are equals false, and it's okay because we create a new clone of our object. But if you take a look at the addresses are equals true. In this case, the collection of the copy object is the same of the collection in the original object. This is because the spread operator creates a new instance of your object, but for every property use the same reference. So if you have a primitive value, for instance a number, a string, so on, you don't have any problem because primitive are copied and it's not a problem. But if your property is an array or an object, the object in the array and the array and the object are the same in the both object. So it's important to keep in mind this simple stuff, because if you don't know this approach, probably you can have some strange mistake in your code base, and probably you have to fix some bug during the weekend, and maybe you want to stay with your family or with your friend. Okay, the second solution to copy an object in JavaScript is using the object.assign method. In this case, you have to pass an empty object as first parameter and the original object in the second one. And this method creates for you a copy of the object. And then you can push this object in the collection. Okay, so now I wanna run the script, and as you can notice, this time the script takes 2 seconds and 670 milliseconds. It's a bit more than the previous one, but it's not a big problem probably if you are copying 10 million elements from a collection to another. Yes, depend of your case study. Okay, now it's time to see how this approach works. So I uncomment again the console log, and then I'll open my terminal and use again the script. We can check the result. So the result in this case is people are equals false and addresses are equals true, is equal to the previous one. So also this approach use the same approach of the previous and create a new instance of the original object to create a clone of this object. But then for every property of type reference, so array or object and so on, use the same reference in present in the original object. So it's not a problem in some case use this kind of clone, but it's important to keep in mind that spread operator and object assign method create a clone, but not a deep clone of your object. Okay, now it's time to see the third example. So using the quick and dirty solution json.parse and json.stringify, you are able to create a copy of your object in a simple way. But now it's time to see the code in action in the terminal. Okay, so now I wanna run the script. Okay, maybe it's not the expected result. So we try again with a different approach. Okay, let's try again with the turbo in the heap. So node option, max node space size 8 giga, and node /copy object.js. And I'm waiting for the result. Okay, this time we have a result. But as you can notice, the duration it's not the best. 25 seconds for copy 10 million elements using the json.parse and json.string function. As you can imagine, it's not the best solution to create a clone of your object. But in an old JavaScript code base could be normal find this solution, and maybe now you have an idea and you have the reason why maybe this code is very slow. But now it's time also to see a different approach that have this solution with the reference of the object in the clone object. So now I'll uncomment again the console log and run again this very slow script. And now I'm waiting for the result. Okay, as you can notice, people are equals false and addresses are equals false. So this time the result is a bit different. So for the instance of the object, the result is the same, but it's different for the addresses. So as you can imagine, the JSON parse JSON string solution or strategy to clone an object create a new instance also of your property. So create a real deep clone of your object. Yes, the solution is not very fast, but maybe if you have to copy and paste only a small object and not 10 million objects, this could be a possible solution. But now it's time to see the last possible solution to clone an object in your JavaScript code base. The last strategy that I want to show you is the structured clone function. This function is part of the JavaScript language and is used to create a deep clone of your object. So as you can imagine, this solution create a real deep clone of your object. Now it's time to see the performance in the terminal. Okay, now I run again the code with the max hold space size option. And now I wait for the result. Okay, as you can notice, also the solution it's not the best one. So 33 second and 546 milliseconds. As you can notice, also this solution is not the best for the performance. But now it's time to see how this solution work with the reference. Okay, I comment again the console log and run again the script. Now and wait for the result. Okay, as you can notice, people are equals false and addresses are equals false. So structure clone use a deep clone. So the two objects have different reference and the two collection have different reference. So in my opinion, structure clone is the best solution if you want to create a deep clone in JavaScript. And the spider operator is the best solution if you want to create a clone of your object, but only in the reference in this case. By the way, now it's time to wrap up. Okay, you learn 4 different ways to create a clone of your object in JavaScript. And now you have all the notion to make the best decision in the future if you have to create a clone of an object in your JavaScript code. Okay, I hope you enjoy this content, and if you like it, please hit the like button below. And if you wanna stay updated with my content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you and see you soon. Bye bye!